This photo looks normal, until you realize it was taken just minutes before a murder. Sometimes, the most innocent images capture something much darker, a final smile, a silent scream, or a glimpse of evil lurking just out of frame. Today, we're revealing 10 haunting photos taken before, during, or after horrific crimes. They may look harmless, but once you hear what happened, you'll never see them the same way again. This photo is chilling, not because of what you see, but because of what you realize after. A teenage girl stands alone in an old barn, wearing a black dress and black high heels. Her expression is frozen somewhere between fear and confusion. Her name was Regina Walters, just 14 years old when this photo was taken. She had run away with her boyfriend, hoping for a fresh start, but the man who picked them up was no stranger. His name was Robert Ben Rodez, a long-haul trucker who would later be linked to a series of disturbing crimes across the country. After taking this photo, he ended her life. He had forced her into those clothes, cut her hair, and brought her to that barn just to stage this moment. He wanted control over the scene, over the fear, over the story. Regina's body was discovered weeks later, and this photograph, found in the suspect's possession, became a haunting piece of evidence. It's one of the only moments of truth left behind by a man who left so little. Let's move to number 9. This isn't just another Polaroid. It's a chilling image that clearly shows 2 kids being held captive. A girl lies on a blanket in the back of a van. Her mouth is sealed with duct tape. Her hands are bound tightly behind her. Next to her is a copy of My Sweet Audrina, a book that Tara Calico was known to read. But she's not alone. Beside her is a young boy. He looks about 8 or 9 years old. He's also gagged, his eyes wide with fear, staring straight into the camera. His identity has never been confirmed. Some believe he was another victim. Others fear he may have already been dead when the photo was taken. The Polaroid was discovered in a parking lot outside a convenience store in Florida, nearly a year after 19-year-old Tara Calico vanished while riding her bike in New Mexico. Tara's family believes the girl in the picture is her. The resemblance is striking. Even the scar on her leg matches. Despite multiple investigations and analysis by the FBI and Scotland Yard, the photo was never officially verified. Some call it a cruel prank. Others are convinced it was a deliberate message from whoever took it. This photo wasn't random. It was staged. It was meant to be found. Tara Calico is still missing, and the boy in the photo remains unidentified. Now to number 8. In 2008, 30-year-old Travis Alexander was photographed in the shower of his Arizona home. He looks directly at the camera, unaware it would be the last photo ever taken of him. Just minutes later, he was killed by Jodi Arias, a woman he had been in an on-again, off-again relationship with. The photo was found on a damaged memory card inside a discarded camera. It became a key piece of evidence in one of the most sensational trials of the decade. There's something unsettling in his expression. Not fear, not joy, just stillness, like the moment before a storm. Moving on to number 7, we take it back to 1993, where we have a grainy CCTV image captured inside a shopping center in Liverpool. In it, a 2-year-old boy named James Bulger is seen walking hand in hand with another child. At first glance, it looks innocent, just kids making their way through the crowd. But what no one realized in that moment was that James wasn't with family. He had been lured away by 2 10-year-old boys. Hours later, James's body was discovered near a railway line. What happened in between remains one of the most heartbreaking crimes in British history. That single frame of surveillance didn't just capture movement, it captured the final moments of trust before the world around James changed forever. In 2011, 20-year-old Lauren Giddings had just graduated from Mercer Law School in Georgia. In the photo, she's smiling proudly, her eyes full of hope for the future. It was the kind of photo you'd frame and show your kids one day, a moment of achievement frozen in time. But what no one knew was that her killer was already close. Too close. Stephen McDaniel, her neighbor and former classmate, had been watching her, obsessing over her for months. Just days after the photo was taken, Lauren vanished. At first, there were no clues. But when reporters came to interview McDaniel about her disappearance, his nervousness was caught on camera. Then came the moment when he was told on live television that her torso had been found. His face dropped.
What about in the parking lot area? I know they've been doing a lot of, I think that's where they had recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body?
Had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there? I mean, we don't know if this is the same person. You know what I mean? Like, they took out a body there earlier. We don't know if it's the same person or not. So that's how we're trying to ask people if they know who lived there.
His entire body seemed to deflate. McDaniel had broken into her apartment, taken her life, and tried to hide what he'd done. That graduation photo became a symbol of stolen potential, of a bright future cut short by someone who was supposed to be just a neighbor. She was celebrating the beginning of her life, not knowing someone had already decided it would end. At number 4, we go to a year later, 2012. 18-year-old Samantha Koenig was working alone at a small coffee stand in Anchorage, Alaska. It was late, just before closing time, when a man approached the window. Surveillance footage shows her calmly taking an order, as she had done hundreds of times before. What no one realized was that this man was Israel Keys. He forced his way inside and abducted Samantha at gunpoint. That last photo from the security camera shows her standing at the counter, completely unaware of what was about to happen. Keys held her captive for hours. After ending her life, he left town, only to return later and stage a chilling deception. He posed her body to make it appear she was still alive, and sent a photo to her family with a ransom demand. That image was horrifying, but the true final photo, the one from that quiet evening at the kiosk, is even more haunting. It captures innocence, routine, and the last peaceful moment before everything changed. For her family, especially her mother, it became a permanent reminder of the moment their world shattered. At number 3, we go to July of 2012. Skylar Neese was a bright 16-year-old girl from Star City, West Virginia. She was popular, smart, and had a close group of friends. On the night of July 6th, she snuck out of her home through her bedroom window to meet 2 of those friends, Rachel Schoaf and Sheila Eddy. They drove to a remote wooded area just outside town. Skylar thought they were just hanging out, but her friends had planned something else. A selfie was taken in the car just before they arrived. In it, Skylar is smiling in the back seat, completely unaware of what was coming. Moments later, in the quiet darkness of those woods, her 2 best friends attacked her. They had brought knives and a shovel. Skylar fought back, but she was outnumbered. Her body wouldn't be found for months. The photo of her in the back seat would become a symbol of ultimate betrayal. 2 people she trusted, posing with her just minutes before they took everything away. Let's move to number 2. At number 2, we go back to 2002. Elizabeth Smart was just 14 years old when this family photo was taken. It was a normal evening in Salt Lake City, Utah. She had just attended a school awards ceremony. In the photo, she is smiling, completely unaware that this would be the last picture taken of her before everything changed. That night, a man broke into her bedroom. He held a knife to her throat and forced her out of the house while her little sister pretended to sleep beside her, frozen in fear. That man was Brian David Mitchell, a self-proclaimed prophet who would go on to keep Elizabeth captive for 9 months. The image became more than just a last photo. It was the face the world remembered during the long months of her disappearance. Her eyes, her innocence, the way a child should never have to be remembered. When she was finally rescued, the photo was used again, this time in relief and triumph. But it will always hold a haunting reminder of how quickly safety can vanish. Before we get to number 1, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to Mystery Unlocked. We've got more stories coming that you won't want to miss. And now, for our last image, we go to 2017. Yingying Zhang was a visiting scholar at the University of Illinois. She was 26, bright, kind, and excited about the future. In this surveillance still, she is standing on a street corner. A black Saturn Astra pulls up beside her. She leans in, speaks briefly to the driver, and then gets into the car. That moment, frozen in time, was the last anyone would ever see of her alive. The driver was Brent Christensen. He was pretending to be an undercover police officer. What followed was unthinkable. He took Yingying to his apartment and ended her life in a crime so disturbing. Investigators later described it as beyond comprehension. Her body has never been found. The CCTV still, simple and grainy, captured the moment where everything changed. It became the image used in every news story, every plea, every heartbreak. A reminder that sometimes evil doesn't come with warning signs. It pulls up to the curb, opens a door, and vanishes with someone who trusted too easily.